I've got my first vaccine. I am delighted. I'm currently using my left arm, the arm I got the vaccine in, to push a suitcase. So far, no real bad symptoms. The arm isn't sore. It was a tiny little prick, barely hurt. It was better than most vaccines I've gotten, and it didn't take very long at all. It was very efficient, and I'm very happy and excited. Hello, I have spent the entire day editing YouTube videos. I am almost up to date with emptying everything that was on my computer and on my phone. So that should tell you just how much I've been editing. I have videos ready for the next 2 months. And today, for the first time in weeks, it has rained, it has stormed, there's been thunder, there's been lightning. It's the best. It's calmed down a bit now. I can't tell if it's still dripping or if that's just coming from the roof, but it's still not very warm, which is great. However, a couple of days ago, I had a bit of a COVID scare in the sense that I had been working with someone who had COVID. And I worked with him in the morning and I didn't find out until night. He didn't find out until the night, but I'd still been at work because I'd worked the whole day. So naturally I was terrified, and the next morning I was meant to be working again. I messaged my boss and they said, no, you can still come in because you were both wearing masks and you weren't less than a meter distance at any point. And I was like, look, if you say so. But I took a COVID test when I got home the first night, another one in the morning before work, and then after work, and then again before work the next day, and again after work the next day, etc, etc. Yesterday was the first day I didn't take a COVID test, and I've been feeling fine. I've been feeling absolutely fine. I mean, this is a YouTube video, so you can probably tell where this is going. But basically, I was just downstairs, and admittedly, I had some lunch, which is lunch that I don't usually have. It was just something that one of our old housemates had left in the freezer, and I was like, yeah, I'll cook it. It's vegetarian. And suddenly, I started to feel like I had to cough. Admittedly, I haven't drunk much today, and I don't feel unwell aside from the fact that I feel like I need to cough. But of course, I was absolutely terrified. So I've just taken a COVID test, and we'll find out in about half an hour what the story is. I know I'm smiling right now, but I'm gonna be so upset if I have COVID, especially because earlier today I was like, I can't believe how lucky I am to have actually not gotten it, because we were in close vicinity even if we weren't 1 meter apart. But the one good thing that came from that stress and from me editing videos all day is that I've now left where I was, because I went to the room downstairs. It's just a more comfortable bed, and it's just more comfortable to sit on that bed as well because mine's at a weird angle. And because I've come upstairs and because I've been editing all those videos, I've realized that I desperately need to get started on packing. And because of the COVID test, I now have a half-hour limit, so I know that I'm not going to be longer than that, even though I probably will. And I'm looking around my room wondering if I should bring more things into that room, because I do only have like a week or two left. But I think I'm just gonna go into the room next door and start packing away the things I'm definitely wanting to pack away, just to make a dent. And I'll bring you guys along with me. I told myself I wasn't gonna film anymore until I'd caught up on all the videos, but here we are. I'm just really hoping that's negative. Well, fingers crossed. Let's go. So just as I'm leaving my room, here are all my negative COVID tests from the last few days. Gross. Right, how do I even begin to do this? I've spent a little bit of time, look at this angle by the way, this is great. But what I was going to say was I've spent a little bit of time trying to decide which suitcase I'm gonna pack my things to go in, and whether I should go for the slightly bigger one or the slightly smaller one, but I think I'm gonna go for the slightly bigger one. I might regret that, but that's what we're doing for now. Here goes. Okay, the packing's going actually surprisingly well, and it's so much easier once you actually get started. That was my timer for the COVID test. I'm so nervous. 1 line. I mean, that looks positive to me. I mean, negative. And after Dodie's whole thing, I'm very careful about checking if there's not a second line, but I really can't see one. So I'm gonna let the government know, and then I'm just gonna finish packing like the 2 things I hadn't packed yet, and then I'll go back down and finish editing. Fun, fun, fun. I'm very glad though, I'm very relieved. I will take another one tomorrow before work, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Wow, I feel great. It's ridiculous how easy that was. My suitcase is admittedly mostly packed, but not entirely. I've still got a pile of maybes, although I took some things out of that and put it away. And then obviously I still have loads of stuff in my room that I'm gonna have to sort through soon. But I do still have about 10 days, I think. And I'm very glad to have done that. I will have to continue at some point, but for now we're gonna keep editing. I'm also obviously just very glad that my COVID test was negative. On we go. Okay, so after having spent a long time in the past trying to make my end screen, I've just discovered that my video editing software has a template for it. And the reason why I'm frustrated about this is because it took me so long to figure out the exact right sizes to make the videos and things fit, and this just does it for you. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the one I have for now, and maybe next year I'll change it because I like to change it every year. But anyway, once I've finished editing this video, I am basically up to date, which is nice. Yay! Okay, just a very quick update to that video, which I'm editing now, and then I'm gonna go. I felt absolutely fine. I felt fine that night. I felt fine the next morning. I did take another COVID test. It was negative. Then I came home from work and had the worst headache. And I was shivering, but also quite warm at the same time. So naturally, I started to freak out because I was like, oh my goodness, I have COVID. I took another COVID test. It was negative. And then I tried to sleep and I just couldn't. Again, I was shivering, but warm and sick, pounding head. It was just horrible. So I freaked out, obviously, but I took another COVID test in the morning and it was negative. And I went into work and explained, but because we're so understaffed at the moment, they were like, no, please stay. And then I took another COVID test when I came home and that was negative too. And I do feel a lot better now. I'm still not 100%. I did have a nap when I came home, but I am a lot better. So that's my scary COVID story. But for now, we're all good. Bye, and I will see you guys soon.